gonna call the
Main Street.
redevelopment authority meeting
It's a tough
for
one.
Tuesday, October 16th, 2018. Order. First on the agenda is Forest Street update. I know at our last meeting, we were trying to get something from the assessors, and I talked briefly with Stephen about it on the phone. We were trying to nail something down, so you did some research on Forest Street for us?
I did, Mr. Chair, and I apologize that I wasn't, I looked back in the minutes from the last several meetings so I could ascertain what number on Forest
Yep.
Street, and I couldn't back into it. It wasn't mentioned. It was just very endearingly and colloquially referred to as Forest Street. So I was able to find, at least in Jack's documents, these items, and I'm hoping that the board can confirm for me that this is in fact the site that we were talking about.
There's no building on it.
What's
No
the
building
number?
on that site.
It has a
It's number
number.
9, Forest Street.
What was the number in the
No.
paperwork on Forest Street? Do you remember?
Yeah,
You guys
no.
had it. There it is.
No,
I can't remember.
Get it out of there. I can't believe it. I just took this out of there.
That's all right.
I probably have it in here. So.
Yeah, no, this isn't it.
Nope.
And it's a vacant lot?
It's a vacant
Vacant
lot,
lot.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it was like 90.
Yeah, it was-
92,
it
90.
was-
but 90, I think, right?
It might have been.
90.
Hold. Stand by. See if I can come up with some. Forest Street, 94 Forest Street.
Sounds right.
Okay.
Yep.
There we go. That's the emails that were going on with the realtor.
And Mr. Chair, just to confirm, we're looking for an appraised or an assessed value of the site?
Assessed
Right.
value for the,
Right.
It's more of an appraised value.
Yeah,
Using the
that's what we
expertise
need.
of the assessor, because
Yep.
assessed values and appraised values are different.
Right, assessed value is usually like a year behind. the usual
Yeah,
market
so
rates.
it's,
But you can use the assessed value to move forward with.
yeah, it's gonna be in the ballpark, that's for sure.
Well, it's supposed to be assessed to the full fair market value anyhow, so I suppose if that's an appropriate place to start. I can now get that information and have it disseminated to the group before our next meeting.
Okay,
Cool.
great, thank
We'll
you.
have that there for next meeting. Okay, Chairman's update, URP. I hope everybody read the article that was in the paper. There was an article that was sent out from the director's office on a brief overlay of the URP. I was unaware of it, but I know that it went out there, so I want to make sure that if you guys haven't read it, please do read it.
Oh, is that, we have to go on site, a certain site we go on?
It's just the Carver, or what is it, Carver
Report.
Reporter. It was in the Carver
Yeah.
Reporter.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just this past Thursday?
Just last Friday, I
week.
think.
Last
Yeah, last
Friday.
Friday.
Oh, yeah?
Carver Reporter, and I know it came from the director's office, so,
Okay.
just so you guys know about that. I don't know if you have
Catherine
anything
Gell,
on
or
that.
whatever her
She
name
may
is.
have been in attendance at the time I was making an update to the Board of Selectmen, but I released nothing from my office to anyone
Alright.
about it. She may have
They
just picked
quoted
up
all
on
you.
She probably took it from the video, would be my
That's
guess.
what-
Oh, yeah, she watches the
Okay, cool.
video.
I recall her visiting afterwards on another matter.
Yeah.
All right, so it's just information for you guys. I also wanted to talk about, I know that we had that initial site visit for the new people. I know that part of us didn't get out there. I know that we had talked about rescheduling that. Did you guys want to talk about a date or when you might want to get out there so I can arrange that again?
Yeah, well,
or-
don't wait too long, it's gonna get.
It's gonna be snowing, so.
Yeah, right,
um,
it's really not gonna be good.
I like that, no snow, I like that whole, you didn't even have to say it, Chad, no snow.
Opportunity, huh?
So I don't know what the flavor of the board is, but I wanted to be able to follow up on that because of the last snafu for me, so. What's anybody's thoughts, flavors? We're getting into the weather here.
Okay.
And if you guys want, you can just email a couple of dates to Stephen, and then we can work that out. Instead of trying to nail.
First week of November, is that a possibility for you?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
it can't be
looking-
too late
is that
either,
the-
if it gets dark.
Is that
What
the
time do we,
5th or the?
what time do we go there last time? 4:30?
Yeah, the week of the 5th.
Yeah.
That's after the clocks go back, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's gonna be dark.
That's Sunday.
Oh, Sunday, is it this Sunday we turn the
No, the
clock?
4th
Sunday
of
the 4th.
November,
Yeah.
the Sunday after Halloween.
Oh, well, we gotta go Thursday or Friday of the other, before that all turns back.
Yeah, because it's gonna be dark early.
What's your schedule like, do you know?
It's November.
And that's if we can get them together, but they're pretty accommodating, so.
So, last week of October,
Okay.
I can't do the
Not the
31st.
No, no,
Can't do
no,
that,
no,
I'm already
no.
booked.
It's Halloween
Yeah.
anyway.
I can do any day except for the 28th and the 31st. That week.
20th is Sunday, we don't wanna do that.
Yeah, I don't think.
Fourth
we
is
can
daylight
do that
savings.
anyways.
So,
Do you wanna try to see if I can schedule either 29th or the 30th? Is that gonna work for you, Bob? I
How
don't
about
know.
you guys down there? Sharon?
That's fine with me.
Savory.
that'll work no matter what.
It would be what, 4:30?
29th.
I think there's I think I'm on another thing on the 30th, which is it's either the invasive species or renewable energy. We're meeting on the 30th.
How early can you meet?
I can meet earlier in the day. I think my meeting's at 5:30.
I'm
Oh,
usually down here by 2:15,
oh,
All right,
okay.
well, I can,
just to,
afternoons I'm fine.
yeah.
I can do afternoons on,
So I know I won't be able to make it, cause I have obligations on the 30th. My 30th is tied up.
I can do Monday the 29th.
Same here.
29th,
Yeah,
I can
try
do
Monday.
29th.
So try Monday the
Bob,
29th.
you said you can't?
No, I can't.
You
No, he
can't?
can't.
29th,
Okay.
that's okay.
29th?
Yeah,
All right.
what's a good time for everybody?
well, you're the ones coming
After
from the Cape,
2:15.
aren't you?
It doesn't matter about me, I've been to the site a million times, I can always meet you guys while you're already there, so
Oh, okay.
what's good for you guys?
After 2:15 is fine with me.
3?
3 o'clock?
That's
After-
3 o'clock.
Okay,
That's
3
fine.
o'clock.
Alright, I'll try to arrange it for 3 o'clock, or somewhere around there, 3:30, somewhere around there. And I'll have Steven send you guys a confirmation on that.
Okay.
And post it online.
Yes,
And I talked to the secretaries in there, and they just missed one of the clicking on to
Yeah.
post it on the calendar.
Okay.
So they were trained and they're all set to go with
that's
that.
my
Okay.
fault.
Don't worry about it. It's all good now.
It's all good.
So, Mr. Chairman, I just
Yeah.
have to ask you, I want to get educated on this calendar thing. On the website, there's a calendar?
Yeah, yeah. So if you go to carvermass.gov, it
Yeah,
looks like this,
okay.
okay? And this is because it's an app.
Meeting calendar?
Meeting calendar, just click
Okay.
on that, and
Yeah.
this shows all the meetings that are going on today.
Ah.
And if you hit all upcoming meetings,
Yeah.
events, it'll show it on a calendar basis,
Oh, wow.
like that.
Okay.
And
That's what you were talking about
that's what I'm
before?
talking, this is what I go by
Ah,
here.
okay, okay. You
So,
do?
Yep.
yeah, just,
Okay,
but it wasn't
All right.
showing up on here. and-
all right, I
but it's
got
fine.
it. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Awesome.
Okay.
Okay, so anything else, Stephen, you want to give for input of the URP? My big thing was trying to schedule that. And see if I can have you reach out to the developer and try to arrange that for that
Be glad
time.
to.
That'd be great. Okay, moving on, members' comments. First bullet point was discussion on other projects. We had talked about that at the past couple of meetings, of different type of projects. I don't know if you guys nailed anything down that you want to start digging into, not. This one you're gonna see on this agenda, and I don't want to just blow you guys away and say, all right, you guys wanted to talk about other projects, but I don't know what projects, how deep you want to get into them. So, I'm looking at you.
Okay, no problem. All right, so I did some research. Like I said, I've already went through the properties the town owns and everything. And there's a number of properties, probably 3, maybe 4 properties that are possible for development. One of the ones I did talk about the last time was about on Plymouth Street and Gate Street, that corner there. Plymouth Street used to go straight through
Yeah.
to Gate Street where there was a three-way stop there. It got redirected, and when I went on the Muni Mapper, it didn't show up as having a number associated with it, so I went upstairs to check, and it's actually part of the Archdiocese of Boston. They own both properties. It's cut in half because of Plymouth Street is.
Yeah.
So they own the parking lot area over here, and then they own this other area across the street of it.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know
And
that.
the one across the street, in between Gate and Plymouth Street, there, could possibly be another affordable housing type of project there.
Let me just say that there's a big box in Verizon was
Yeah,
there
and
the
that's
other
to the-
day. It's
that's-
on that land.
Right, and that's toward the left. There may be enough room on
So
the
they
other
might have
side.
easements. They have easements.
Right. So, but it's something to look at. The other issue here with this area too, which would help the town, is if we so choose to go after this property, there's a huge problem with water collection there. Whenever we get huge amounts of rain and snow and freezes,
Oh, yeah.
that area right there floods. It floods bad. So if we were to do something with this property here, it would actually help the town out because we could create a basin area on the other side of the property to catch that storm water that's coming out there, and it would make it passable for people and not have to have 6 inches of water going into their cars, they're trying to drive through it. So there would be other benefits if something could be done with the property. Like I said, could, don't know.
So the concern that pops in my mind, first of all, is it a buildable lot? Does it meet all those
Right.
requirements? Second of all, if you're gonna take the stormwater from the street onto a personal, a private lot to run that water into some type of basin, you gotta worry about, is it directly impacting the septic system, stuff like that on the house. So it depends on the size of the lot and where you're thinking that if this does happen, if we can come to, if it's a buildable lot, if not, how that all drains is just things that are popping in my head right now about it.
Right. Right now, it's separated by Plymouth Street. So
Yep.
there's technically two separate distinct lots.
But the people, the Parisian used to live, as you go around the corner, that house belongs to another couple, but it used to be Parisian, so if it's falls like Carver has, wells in front and septic in the back, which would be, water would be going in their septic system, not their well.
Well, this is a high point, this lot that's right here.
Yeah.
This is a high point, this is the low point
Okay,
of the property because it slopes down this
Yeah.
way, and the water fills up more on this side of the street here.
yeah, I go through it all the time.
Right, same here. So, like I said, this area would be where I would think would be a stormwater management area to subdivide the two properties here. So this would be one lot, this would be the second lot, and then have this lot over here, have the stormwater management area. And then this one, if it was able to be a buildable lot or whatnot, if it was capable to do that, but
Gotta
we
find
could-
out what the
we have to
dimensions
find
are
out
and everything.
everything else. I just figured I'd put it out there as an option there.
And I'd definitely wanna, if we got to that extent, include, Johnny Woods,
Oh, yeah.
the highway superintendent, so.
So that's the
Okay.
only one that I have
Good.
for that.
Now, was that one owned by the town or?
No, it's owned by the Archdiocese of Boston, but they,
It wasn't sold
it
when
has,
it went-
it never got sold when the other church took over.
Oh, really?
I thought that was really
Yeah.
bizarre that they didn't
Because
transfer
The
ownership.
one where this drainage issue is, that piece of the property belongs to the church. I think that
No,
got
it doesn't.
sold.
It belongs to the Archdiocese of
So
Boston.
that didn't get sold either?
Did not.
Maybe they couldn't afford it.
It's all one lot.
I really?
This is all one lot.
Oh, yeah?
Even though the road goes through it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
By the assessors,
Oh,
it's
yeah?
all one lot.
Oh, yeah, because I'm Catholic and we used to own that church and then of course it got sold, so, okay.
So-
Interesting.
Okay.
Okay.
You good, Bob? Anybody
Yeah,
else
okay.
have any type of projects that they wanna just bring up for discussion, thoughts? Okay.
Good. I'm next.
Joanna, I know that at our last meeting, you were talking about this 5-year plan you
I
wanted to
did,
talk to.
I did,
and
I
it
did.
worked in conjunction with the
Yeah, I'm gonna
housing.
discuss my
So-
plan, but I think I need to tell the committee in total, I look at it as a three-legged stool. First being the URP, second would be something I'm gonna be talking about, and third would what Bob's talking about, land that is town-owned. I truly believe the TOPS committee really needs to get going. And from there, those kind of situations are important. So that would be how I look at it anyway. So let me talk about my piece and then somebody else can talk about TOPS. All right. Last meeting, I opened, in my part of the agenda, I talked about that. I talked about the Carver master plan. It's a suggestion that they can join other projects as well. That's one. I also told you about the local housing partnership hadn't been meeting since 2015. I want to get that going again. And I also wanted to get it going, and the reason I'm talking tonight is because I want the redevelopment to join or connect with the project I'm going to talk about with a local housing partnership. So I went to the assessor's office and created a map. Pardon me, but the reading goes this way, but the reality is the map that you want to read is really this way.
Thank
So there's one there for Mike as well. So here, can you pass those
I'll do it.
around? And I'll try to be
Thanks,
brief, because I know Sharon, I think, are you the only one that's at the meeting? Okay. Okay, my proposal is with a local housing partnership that we need housing, senior housing. And the senior housing I'm going to be proposing will go right here in the red area. This belongs already, it's 16.32 acres. You can see what's on there now is some of the, on the left is the Massachusetts side for the housing, and the right-hand side is the one that's managed, but on the federal side. On the yellow piece, you can see where the playground is, and if you go to the left of that, I believe that is a designated area that, when I was at the library meeting, I think they said that was for the police station. Have they got any site on police station yet?
Yes, so everything you're looking at here in the yellow is being looked at by the police station. We had a meeting this morning, it'll take up the whole area, you got wells issues there. So that whole area, yellow right now, is being looked at by the police station,
Okay,
the entire thing.
okay,
And then really the back of it, where you see all the numbers, the 13-4, the 11,
yeah,
that's all within the well radius area, so you can't even develop back there anyway.
13, 4, 11, where's it? We mean right in the corner here?
The whole second back, the whole back side of the yellow,
Okay,
including the northern side of the pink. So
okay,
none of that area is developable.
okay. Behind the pink is Harju's, and there's 7.96 of uplands. So my question is, some of which has already been used, but in total it's 16.32. I don't know how many units we can get there, but we truly need senior housing. In the housing I'm thinking of, it will have 2 floors, and each one of them will have an elevator in it. But here's the thing that I really want to push on. That one of those units, the bottom part of it, is for the Council on Aging, storefront, if you will, and the second floor with a elevator would be more apartments. I think that kind of would solve, and I don't know where your Council on Aging, aren't you on that committee? I don't know where you guys are, but I wanted to propose that as an opportunity. And I don't, like I say, I don't know how many units we can put out there, but at least one of those units for sure. The bottom would be storefront, I visualize that. And the top the second floor would be apartments, but all these would have elevators to go up to the second floor. This would give the Council on Aging an opportunity to, it would be our project, or the local housing partnership project, hopefully the redevelopment project as well. So it would be our project, and we could encompass doing something like that.
All right, well, our COA is really a needs assessment. It's not about finding a new home. It's finding out what current seniors and seniors who will, or citizens who will become seniors in the next 5 to 10 years would be looking for as far as activities and generally services that they would like. And it's going to be done through a survey that hopefully we'll get a large percentage of return on. We're going to notify everybody in town one way or another, either electronically, through snail mail, personally, knocking on doors. So really it's needs assessment to figure out what it is that people are looking for the town to try to provide to them as they get older.
Okay.
So we're not discussing a venue for it to happen. We're discussing
Well, this
what
would-
is needed first.
This
That's
would-
one of the things, Joanna, is that this is really premature for many different reasons. One is from a funding standpoint, if and when there ever needs to be an addition to the library or something for a COA building. The second is, what is the need for COA in the town? That's what their committee's doing, and it's being very objective. It's taking out what everybody thinks they know and finding out what people really need. And so there's going to be an objective study that'll come out of that, and we'll get the results of that around town meeting, or hopefully before then. And that's going to dictate the path that the COA Board of Directors pursue for their building. You know, tying in redevelopment authority to housing is not really, you need to separate those, in my opinion, because we are going to look at affordable housing in the community. The CPC has already had some discussions on that preliminary about where they can use their money. So we need to really focus on having an affordable housing component in the town, take a look at that. And that's in the works. And the same thing with the COAs in the works. So there's a bunch of things that are already in the works with other groups that are more appropriate for that stuff to be done than the redevelopment authority, going forward to doing that.
Well, I'm trying to connect the redevelopment, but my primary focus is going to be on the local housing partnership to get that going, obviously, and we need a consultant as well. So if I could just be more open, is that we could look at providing that home for the Council on Aging as well as senior housing. They could then, being in this area here, Council on Aging could feed, allow to be, people could go for lunch that live there. And it's right, the Council on Aging is right close to the library, which is.
Again, we need to find out what the needs are, and that's what.
Well, they're gonna need a home, and that's all I'm saying,
Well,
is
they may
here's a
find
home, and we'll put you in this home, and.
They may be fine, and people have said they're fine where they are today. So, I mean, it depends who you ask if they need a home. Some people say it's perfectly fine where they are today, some people say they need a whole new building, others say do an addition to the library. So you got 3 different camps that are out there.
Okay, well, let me
And
throw.
until we get data,
Okay,
it's really, we're not gonna get anywhere except spin our wheels. Because the town's not gonna do anything until the data
oh,
comes
yeah,
back.
yeah, so, you will agree, though, we do need senior housing back there.
I do not agree or know that that's where we need it, because we've got water issues back there, we've got water supply issues, we've got other issues that are out there. Whether or not it needs it there or someplace else in town, the study will tell us if we need additional senior housing in
Okay.
the community. We may not, we
I
don't know.
mean, when my friend called me up and she said, Joanna, isn't some committee of yours gonna do anything about this? She said, I went over there and put my name in, and I'm 58. I'm gonna die before they even get a chance to call me.
But if you're talking about the housing authority, that's not 58 people from Carver, that's 58 people from the state of Massachusetts, some of which may be in Carver.
Well, most of them, I think, are Carver. She didn't talk about the one that's social housing. She talked
The housing
about
authority.
the housing.
Yeah, the
And
housing
she said it
authority
was
takes everybody out of state,
primarily
out of
housing.
town.
But nonetheless, that's something I'm working on and want to commit to doing. Probably the best thing too is going forward is to have a meeting with you and Steve and who else wants to join us to really get into it and talk about it and really get it started one way or another for sure.
All right.
But I look at it as a
Yes, sir.
three-legged, and I think you really need to look at tops and get that going also.
I agree. I disagree with the town administrator. I think even in our master
Come on,
plan.
Bob, you always agree with me.
Yeah, okay. So, I just want to make it clear is that in our master plan, the redevelopment authority is part of the housing plan too.
Yeah.
We're part of it. Whether you like it or not, we are.
It's not about whether I like it, there's a
Well,
couple things,
it-
Bob. The CPC has money for affordable housing.
Right.
We're gonna have a housing trust committee that's focused on housing. There's other committees that are focused on housing. As Joanna said, of course, the redevelopment authority can be part of something, but there's other groups that are focused on housing that have money for housing.
Right, and
That's all I'm
We-
saying. I'm not
if-
saying I disagree with housing. I think the town needs more housing. I think the town may need some senior housing. But until we get the study back, we really are just shooting from the hip. And I like to have facts back up my statements.
well, I'll bite my tongue right now, okay? But again, I disagree with you, okay?
The
Want to
fact
make
is
it,
back up a statement?
okay, fine. You want to put a housing project behind the council on aging that's there, even though there's water issues there, there's septic issues.
I have a question.
So I just want to
I
make
have
it
a
clear.
question.
Go right ahead.
What does that have to do with the 5-year plan that
Okay.
Joanna's talking?
I mean, I don't have a problem with a 5-year plan. I think it's great. I do agree with your point that there's issues of water issues
You
here.
agree with me.
Huh?
Wait, on this property, okay, I disagree with your other statements, okay? There are issues with water here. I was gonna try to bring it up on my phone. In the back here, this is wetlands areas back here, and then there's the whole thing with the well that they have there that you can't go within a certain radius.
150 feet, yeah.
Whatever. But, there may be other areas in this town that we could focus in on too. So, but you're right, the TOPS committee, we need to get them up and running and going through the
So
town
as an
properties.
RDA, you want us to get the tops going?
We should be on one of our members should be on the TOPS committee.
Okay.
They should, because we have the.
So when the
we have
tops
the-
committee meets, I used to be on the tops.
Bob,
I haven't been
there
picked.
already is somebody. But right now,
Who?
the chairman.
Okay, so when it gets up and running, because hasn't been
Well, you
active for
haven't, right?
years.
No?
It is up and running, and it hasn't been a few years, and there's an active role the group's doing.
Have they had meetings?
They're
We haven't
staff
had one in
meetings.
a while.
Yeah.
No. Now we're talking, I think, two different things here. Okay, we're talking about the TOPS committee, you're talking about your internal
That is the TOPS
committee.
committee, Bob. That is the TOPS committee.
And you haven't been to those meetings?
The TOPS committee is not a public meeting.
I haven't been to a staff meeting, no.
Okay, so we're talking about two, you have staff
No, it's the
meetings?
same thing, Bob.
No,
It is. There is no TOPS, there is no public TOPS group. TOPS consists of staff people plus a few different board members that we have a discussion on what is available for tax title in the town. And what is potentially available for redevelopment. Or
Who was,
reuse.
Mr. Chairman, who was it originally? Who did you, I thought it was recreation,
We
right?
had recreation, conservation, planning, somebody from the RDA,
had
which was the chairperson,
assessors.
the town administrator, the finance director, the assessor. Those are the 7 that are on there, and I may be missing one.
This amount, okay.
so we should have a piece of the pie in that meeting.
But Bob, there's always been a member that I invite to the TOPS committee, which is the chairman of the
Okay.
committee.
So, are we going out of the agenda here about saying, hey, where are we at with properties of the town? What are available? Have you looked at each
You sent a
individual
letter
property?
in requesting to know when the next meeting's gonna be, and we haven't called one yet. So the redevelopment authority sent in a letter.
We did.
Okay, all right, but he says they're already having meetings.
No, I didn't say we're already having meetings, I said that a letter was sent in. We haven't had a meeting since the letter was sent in.
All right,
at some point in the near future, we will have one.
Okay.
But right now, there's other priorities in the town that we're dealing with.
All right.
Closing
All right, we're done.
FY 18, closing, doing the tax title stuff, and we'll get to it. May not be
Okay.
on your schedule, but it'll be on the town schedule.
Yeah, all right.
Okay. Anything else on the 5-year plan? Sounds that what information we have, it's more of a housing and there's other people that are dealing with that.
Well, my concern is.
I don't know what you want our role to be in specific. for-
Well, to connect with us, it could be a provisional, right now it could be provisional, because nothing's really got going, but
Right.
there's also grant writing, there's also, in other words, when I'm talking about the CDBG, you guys
Yeah,
came
the
in.
community development block
And, right, you
grant.
guys came in and you gave us that other money when we couldn't get it and so forth and so
That-
on, so.
That was a request from
Right,
that
right,
committee
right.
that was.
So
spearheading
when you
that.
connect the two groups together, you might end up with opportunities like that, who knows? But the redevelopment has a lot of power. You can do grants as well. And I was just thinking that the two, if they connected, would be good. Primarily, I'm looking at the local housing partnership. That's really what I'm looking at. And I'm looking at senior housing. That's what I'm looking at. Not affordable, but senior housing.
So I'm still confused on the role for us, but as more information comes here,
That's
there
correct.
could be a role for the.
That's
area.
correct, right.
Just on that, Joanna, the senior housing is not something that the CPC can participate in. They can only participate in affordable housing.
The who?
CPC, which is where the money is, can only
Okay.
participate in affordable housing. And whether that's senior or non-senior, it's across the board, it can't be age restricted. So we get back into the money thing too, is that, that's the only pot of money that's available is for affordable housing. And it has to be, the focus is on, it's not necessarily age restricted, it's on affordability.
Well, the one on the one that's taken care of by the state, that's not.
It's the housing authority.
Yeah, the housing, that is got family in there also, I believe. There's family in there. It's not so, but it is according to their income. So
Right,
that,
affordability.
yeah, but it's not like affordable housing type of thing. It's according to their income, and as their income
There's a certain
declines.
threshold.
Yeah, that's right. As their income
So-
declines, the rent that they have to pay also declines, and
So I believe we're past our scope. So
I
it's
jump
more,
in?
go ahead,
Waiting to segue in.
please do.
This is about the 5-year plan. Joanne and I have had several discussions about this, starting when we went and toured Robert's Road.
Robert's Way.
And part of where the idea of a 5-year plan came from a discussion we had back then, swatting mosquitoes and,
Yeah.
and looking at a building. In that, as the newbie, I wanted clarification of what the RDA has as far as its scope of influence or scope of authority, even. And one of the things I talked with her about is that there are other redevelopment authorities in bigger towns and cities that have much more money that can act on properties that either come up for sale or they have enough capital of their own in order to gain access to other grants. I mean, in order to do good things, you have to have money. And again, it became a discussion of these small parcels that Bob keeps finding as a possibility. We don't have the capital or the funds or the ability to find it right now, as I'm looking over the RDA, to if Roberts Road, we wanted to put a duplex on there and oversee that as affordable housing, maybe partnering, when you mentioned with the local housing partnership. But if it was under our authority and we sold it, if through the machinations of the town or whatever accounts we need to set up, if we ended up being able to keep some of the money and start building a fund, then we can eventually work towards affordable housing as a goal in either a larger parcel in the town. You know, there's, what, 6 or 7 acres up on Silver Street that's available now for literally dirt. And that kind of a thing further down the way, we might be able to partner with, as an active member of TOPS, with the local housing partnership, like you said. It's probably gonna take a three-legged stool to put somebody on the seat there.
Yeah, that's how I look at it.
But that's where the 5-year plan came out. That's where she and I talk about it, saying if there was a long-term focus. Finding, you know, small parcels, if wherever they are in, you know, the town system. I mean, I'm pretty familiar with tax liens, tax lien foreclosures, and, you know, tax lien auctions from my job. But if it ever got to a point where we could actually partner as part of the redevelopment and move towards affordable housing, unless I'm missing it, that seems to be a goal of what this committee wants to do. Okay, now I'm done.
Okay,
Was that,
okay.
Yeah. So you're saying, instead of giving everything back to the town, we should capitalize on it and create a fund of some, a trust, or whatever you, fund of some sort?
whatever it
To score the money.
Even if it goes into a TOPS fund, I'm not sure where all the money slots are. But being a part of it.
Yeah.
So on any of the properties that were ever transferred over to the RDA, there was a memorandum of understanding with the town.
Right.
And in that memorandum of understanding of the town, we were charged by the town or the Board of Selectmen to dispose of said properties, whether, I'll give you an instance, I think it was 121 Plymouth Street was a single-family house that was taken, was given to us. We did some renovation, some repairs to it to get it ready for market, and we used local contractors to do that. Under the conditions of the MOU, there's always been a 5-10% that we kept for administrative fees and stuff like
Yeah,
that. The rest of it went back to the town, and the town used it, I believe, in the general fund. Well, that's how the monies went back. And that was always, well, you know, acts of God are the way that things are. But it is what it is. The next memorandum of understanding that comes up, that if it ever does come up, we could set different goals, and as long as the Board of Selectmen and the town are okay with it, and they agree to that MOU, then we're good. So I think where you're thinking of regenerating cash, I mean, you're gonna see in the checking account, those monies came from disposal of properties. So that money's there for that reason, because we turned over, I wanna say, well over $600 and something thousand
Yeah,
back
yeah.
to the town
Right.
in disposal of some properties.
Well, I think you have that with the forestry too, is that in the
Right.
MOU with that, is that what's sold, that you keep a percentage of that.
Right.
Now, I think with some of the properties that you may have been talking about, there may have been a tax title component, and tied into that, they took it for foreclosure, but they may have owned them and make up a number, $120,000 hypothetically. So the town needs back the first 125, what happens after that? You know, then there should be some type of participation cost in there. Some of the larger redevelopment authorities in cities get either direct appropriations, they get earmarked CDBG funds, or they've developed, you know, a couple 100-acre industrial parks where they're able to sell the land off and keep the money and reinvest back into those other projects.
Excuse me
But
for 2
those are
seconds.
government-owned property that they started with doing, and they added value through permitting, and they got grants through building roads, and they're able to do that. You know, we're looking at the Route 44 project, I mean, we don't own anything there. We're just helping facilitate. But I think the redevelopment authority has a history of selling property, and then, you know, through the MOU, through the selectmen being able to do that. And keep in mind, it's not the selectmen's decision. Any property that is allocated through tax title to the selectmen, to the redevelopment authority, it needs to have a town meeting vote. So we have to have that process that's there, but I think your comments are right on to, and maybe just trying to see if the redevelopment authority can keep a bigger piece of the profit that's made in the future, so that you can use to build up a fund and reinvest that.
Well, then let me ask this question. If things like Roberts Road, is there an avenue for the redevelopment authority to do something with it?
Yes. And out of the box, I'll just tell you the assets that are available to the RDA. We have a line of credit with
Yeah.
Rockland Trust. We've also had conversation with Rockland Trust on a different program where they didn't want to touch our line of credit, but they were going to give us a different sole set of line of credit for a project. So they
Basically,
were.
a construction loan.
Exactly.
Right.
So they were amenable to work with the community, with the RDA on different projects. Say that in the scope of a project, that this board decided that, okay, Forest Street, for example, or Roberts Way, we decided that we were gonna develop either affordable housing or we were gonna do some type of commercial end on the Forest Street or whatever, and we were gonna build it. We were gonna build it, we were gonna put it up, and then we'd sell it. Our avenue for funding, obviously, we only have $25,000 in our account, and our line of credit's only good for 30, we would approach the bank and say, this is our deal, we'd have everything in place, this is our package, and approach them for a construction mortgage through the RDA.
So the RDA would give the construction mortgage.
Yep.
We would build
Whatever.
a duplex and sell those units as affordable housing to be administered under the local housing partnership? Is that how you're seeing this?
Well, you could, but I never thought of
Not
it.
necessarily.
I
Yeah, I
didn't
mean,
think so.
I mean, here's.
Where do you see it go? How do you see it
So-
go?
The, if I'm correct, the affordable housing on Mazzilli Way, that's under the town housing authority.
Yep.
That if it should ever have to be sold, then they would be the people that would monitor to make sure it's sold to a affordable housing person.
Is that the one that Habitat put up?
Yes.
They're collecting money on that, aren't they the holder of the
Yes,
mortgage?
they hold the mortgage of that.
Oh, yeah.
And that's also a possibility for this board too, if it ever wanted to, we could actually hold the mortgage on it and collect those funds too, as being the mortgage holder. That way, we could oversee what's going on too. It's a possibility.
So you wanna be a landlord?
Not a landlord, but we collect their funds, and if they don't pay their mortgage, then we
It's a lien
go
holder.
through, yeah, we're the
Yeah,
lien
it's a
holder
lien,
of it.
it's a lien holder.
So,
But you gotta have the funds to lend that, though.
Right.
well, we also have CPA funds if it's affordable housing. We have CPA funds, there's 300 plus, or maybe close to 400 now, who knows? But there's that money there that's available, and there are grants out there. There are abilities to put in for grants for affordable housing, whether it be $10, $50, $100,000. They're out there. You just gotta fill the paperwork out and cross your fingers that you get it. But it's a process that you have to go and partake before you turn around and actually start to build anything. You have to go ahead and get the property first, and then you have to go
You
ahead
have
and.
to have the project in mind.
Right, you have to, well, you have to have the project in mind, but you also have to own that property,
Yeah.
and then turn around knowing that you can do this project on that property. And then you fill out your grant applications and everything, and get that in there, and go through CPA for their money, go through their process for it, go to town meeting for it. So it's not like a 1-year plan, it's like a 2-year plan for you actually to build up to that goal for housing. Because
So-
commercial development would be different, we wouldn't be able to get any money.
So if I hear Sharon, you're saying if we took those small parcels that he has come up with, I'm using you as an example,
Yeah.
and those get sold, you think we could keep all of the money, but the town administrator says the management of it could be stepped up. And so it'll take a little longer, because if you can build this capital fund, you'd be able to buy or get, right, larger tracts of land. Like you just talked about this thing, this, what do you call it?
Oh, over on Silver Street.
Silver Street, you talked about that. I don't know how many acres that is.
It's 6.
6? So you could get bigger parcels to redevelop. Is
So we
that-
need a project in mind.
And that comes back to the timing, I mean, and, you know, Bob's correct, there needs to be a process. And let's focus on the process, is that the reason why there hasn't been any movement on affordable housing right now is because we're in the middle of a process. Is that not only do we have a bunch of buildings being built in town, but we needed to go through and do this COA user needs analysis and determine what the seniors in the community want. And out of that study is gonna dictate where the CDBG money goes to. Now, of course, you could go apply for CDBG money to do Robert's Way or something like that, but I would argue against that. And the reason I would is because until we have a plan, until we have a process, until we know what the need is in the community, don't start taking 60,000 here, 80,000 here. Leave the $300,000-400,000 that's in there and wait till you have a big project. Or more importantly, wait till the process is done, you have a plan that comes out of the housing thing, and that kind of dictates where the money's gonna go. And whether or not there is the ability of putting housing onto the existing COA facility, if that makes sense, after the study, then you got $400,000 or $500,000 to put to it to make it happen. Or you say, we don't wanna do that, that's too big of a project, and then you do the piecemeal stuff. But you still have to go back through a process, develop a plan, figure out what the needs are, and then figure out where you want to prioritize the limited funds. Because our challenge with the town is we just have limited funds. And, you know, the CPC's kind of been earmarking and saving up these funds over time. They haven't had a good project to invest in, and we're helping to build that good project. And it may take us a year, year and a half to develop that good project, but that's what we're working towards.
But you said the COA needs assessment is just for seniors, and the CPC money can't be used just for senior housing.
It can't be, no,
Right.
but what it does do is that it opens up the door for affordability. And whether seniors go into that or non-seniors go into that, it opens up the door for affordability. So you can kind of craft how it opens up.
I think you're confusing the two. That's my opinion. I think you're confusing the COA and affordable housing, and that, I think you're just going around in circles right now, to be totally honest. I think we should just move on,
All right,
because this is just
yep.
going in circles with him.
Well, we did open the door. We did start some good dialogue.
Yeah.
I'm really
Yep.
pleased,
Yeah.
with that. I personally, from my point of view, I'd like to meet with the town planner, if you don't mind, and the town administrator who has, you know, that background as well. I'm looking at the local housing partnership to get it going. Right now, everything we're talking about is provisional, you know. And I really think that piece of it needs to get going, and I would like to know about the trust. I think I asked the town manager about the trust. There's money in there. It was.
$98,000 in the housing trust.
It's 98? Really? Okay. So it had a purpose when it opened up,
Right.
and I just want to pursue going through that. I thought the CPC money could be used for seniors as well, and you're saying, well, yeah, it's affordable, but it might not be
You
as
can't
restrictive.
earmark it for exclusively for seniors.
Yeah, right,
You gotta
right,
open it up.
right. So
Another
that's, but again, it's part of a plan. It could be cohesive with other things as well, so I'm looking forward to that.
Okay. All right, so let's move on to treasurer's board, bills payable. We're getting
Well-
crunched for time.
Yeah, you know, I did this because my, what's her name, Denise, oh God, Deb Deneen said in her email that here's the package and Joanna will be providing you the treasurer's report. So could you just pass that out? Yeah, the town administrator, he has one too. Give one to the town administrator, please.
I got one here.
So the one in the packet is not the one that we want, or it is?
Well, mine's color. Mine's color.
You
So
like color.
I have it for everybody.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're reporting September 2018. The very bottom, let's look at September. Congratulations, Susan. I like the fact that you're cashing your checks. I love you. So we had no other bills other than the two for the secretary, and that brought that checking account total $754.19. On the savings account side, we just had $6.20 as savings. Interest, that is, $25,160.56. On the Carver Urban Renewal Plan account, that was 7 cents, and that holds at $3,014.86. If you flip it over, the year-to-date on the savings account, interest was $50.65. The year-to-date on the renewal plan was 77 cents. So that is the report for September.
Make a motion, we approve the report written.
I will second that.
I have a motion and a second to approve the treasurer's report as written. Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
Chairman, I also have $7,800 programmed into free cash for our annual town meeting, which I know Joanna keeps on asking me about.
Well, there's a $4,000 one too.
$7,800 total.
Oh,
78.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Does somebody have to stand up at town meeting and give that history? Because you said that in the minutes.
I hope no one has to, because I just had another 10 minutes to town meeting.
Okay.
Hopefully, no one will oppose $7,800.
I hope not.
Is that all right, Bob?
Yeah.
I think they should know where the money came from, if someone requests it.
It'll be written down.
Yep. All right, moving on. Minutes of September 18th. Thank you, Michael. 2018. What is the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman,
Yep.
thanks for putting it through the email for us. It's great reading, thank you.
Oh, I
That
do
was
it.
Miss Zeb to me.
Okay, pass that along to. Okay, thanks. I read it at home, fine with me.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
me
I did
too.
I read it too.
I'll take that as a motion. I approve it as written.
Do I have
Yeah.
a second?
Second.
Motion made and second to approve the minutes of
I did too.
September 18th, 2018 as written. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye, unanimous. Next meeting date.
Okay.
What is the pleasure?
Well, the third Tuesday of November is the
13th?
the third one's the 20th. That's
Okay.
Thanksgiving week.
Oh, yeah.
So, do we want to move up to the 13th?
Yeah, because the kids are out of school and my granddaughter will have to babysit.
13th, we have a planning board meeting, correct?
7 o'clock?
Yeah, that's when our meeting is, so.
That's
We
okay,
meet
we're-
at 6, we usually.
Yeah,
outta here.
we'll be done. So
If that's
is
what
that
you-
okay,
13th.
Flavor of the
Savory?
Yeah,
board.
it should be.
Yep.
Anybody want
RDA.
to make a motion?
Make a motion, we have our next meeting November 13th, 2018 at 6 o'clock,
I will second that.
room to be determined.
Motion made second to set a next meeting for November 13th at 6 o'clock on the 13th
No,
of November.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, great, so be it. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Actually, one thing I missed on the member comment, if I could,
Yep.
real quickly. I noticed when I was looking at my email that Mr. Milanowski has put on it, he's no longer a member of our board. I don't think he should be getting any emails from us.
I include the town administrator on everything,
Okay, well,
because he informs
Duly
the board of
noted.
selectmen.
Where do you see that?
on the top of who's getting all of our
Yep.
stuff. Because I think if a resident says, hey, I want copies of this too, I
It's
think,
public information.
that's what I'm saying, is so we would allow residents to get this email
It's
to them?
public information, they can get it off the website. I include the town administrator, because he informs the board of selectmen of what we're doing.
Right, but he's not a member, so, I mean, there's no reason for him to be getting that information.
We're a quasi-town board.
We're a separate, distinct organization from...
Absolutely understand 5,000%. It's my
Just wanna make it on
determination
the
to
record.
include the town administrator with the board of selectmen, because he
Okay.
informs them. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
Second.
Time?
All in favor, say aye.
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 1854?
Yep.
Yep. We are adjourned.